welcome to episode 4, or Battle Royale number 4. This one took me a bit longer because I didn't include a whole lot of movies that I had seen recently enough, so I had to watch almost all of them. So it took me a little longer to get to 20 watched movies, but here I am, and it's a pretty stacked match again. This one's kind of ridiculous as well. Very hard to rank, hard to figure out, but it's fun. I enjoy putting all these different genres against each other. I think it's just different. It's different to just rank everything against everything. Because I was thinking about like doing specific genre-based matches, and then I was like, well, I don't know. It's just anybody can do that. So I think it's just cooler to throw everything in the ring and see what can hold its own. Like, my favorite genre of movies is horror, but I honestly think that just because it's a horror movie, it should still be able to be ranked up against the big beast movies as well. So with that said, I'm going to throw out my contestants for this one. My 20 here. The first one is Black Widow. Couples Retreat. We got Hook. We have Sympathy for the Devil. Heretic. Kill Bill Volume 1. Kill Bill Volume 2. Let me get rid of that. From my 4K collection of The Ring, I am going to put all 3 of The Ring movies in the ring. Nice. The Incredible Hulk. Oh, 2 MCU ones if they're into this. They Live. Dead Silence. Christine. Unhinged. Better Watch Out. X-Men. From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, this is a filled up one here. Sorry, straighten it out a little bit. Dracula Untold. And last is The Frighteners. So yeah, this is a stacked one. This was pretty damn hard to rank, to be honest. All these against each other. Like, a few obviously are easy, but I enjoy some of these. My ranking on this might shock you a little bit, actually. Maybe not my top few, but some might be higher than others, I think. I don't know. It's hard. But I'm just going to get straight into this one, because I have so many of these that I want to do, and I just can't get them done fast enough. Like, I wish I could put out one every freaking day, but it's too hard to do that. But right here at number 20, we have Rings. This is the final one in this box set here. The third one in the trilogy. This comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray, which is nice. But what isn't nice is this movie. It's pretty weak, actually. I think I gave this like a 1.5 out of 5. I remembered liking it a little more. Like when I first turned it on this time. This was the first time I watched it on this 4K here, which, by the way, looks awesome. Like it's absolutely beautiful looking. The color tint and stuff really shines on these 4Ks. Scream Factory did a good job, especially on this hard box as well. I like when they give you a good hard box. For Rings, it is like an origin story, but also a sum up. Like it's really weird. The first half is kind of interesting, and then it just kind of, I don't like the direction it goes in. I think it kind of shits the bed in the second half. Like, I'm slightly interested in the first half, where this girl's boyfriend goes off to college. If you haven't seen it, I won't give away too much. He goes off to college, and then he stops calling her, so she follows him and goes to see if he's okay. And when she gets there, she notices some strange happenings, and she starts looking into it a little bit, and one of the teachers there, has this thing going on where people keep watching it and then they pass it on to somebody else just so that nobody dies, basically, and they're trying to keep alive, but obviously that doesn't last, doesn't work. And then they just start investigating, and it becomes an investigation, and I don't mind that part. I don't mind the looking into what's going on and who Samara is and why this tape exists. I like all that stuff. It's just the scares aren't great. They're all like, it's hard. It's hard. I gave it a 1.5. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to go into great detail. From now on, starting in these, I'm just going to start telling you my picks a little quicker and try to get these down to like a little bit shorter of episodes. That way I can pump out more of them and just keep going, because the main focus of this is not just to have fun battling these movies, showing you my ranking. It's also because I want to show off my entire collection a little bit, pieces at a time, 20 movies at a time, and just go through the whole thing and just show you how big it actually is. So I'm just gonna give you my score, little bit of sum up. Not gonna go into great detail. No spoilers, obviously, stuff like that. So Rings at number 20. And then at number 19, we have our second elimination of that episode. Or of this, for that box set, and it's Ring 2. Another one that I don't hate. I gave this a 2 to 2.5 out of 5. I don't absolutely hate it, but oh man, it could have just stayed as one movie. It didn't need to add anything to this, and I find the acting to be shittier. Like, it just feels like a quicker thrown together movie. Sorry, I'm freaking dry. This one was also directed by the guy that directed the Japanese version, Ringu. So it's a new director. The guy that they changed directors from the first one, and I could tell immediately. Like, it feels like a different movie as soon as it starts than the first one. And I didn't like that part. I was like, man, it kind of feels cheap, but I get it. They're sequels. They're kind of just banking, trying to soak it for some cash off the first one's success. So, but it's decent. Like, Samara's trying to take over the son's body and actually make Naomi Watts her mother, which is okay. Like, that's a decent storyline. It's just not executed quick enough, and it it's just it just falls flat. It's not that great, but a 2.5, 2.5. It's worthy of a watch, and it's also worthy because this freaking 4K is just gorgeous. Like, these movies look insane. It kind of blows my mind. Scream Factory did an excellent job on these restorations. But yeah, Ring 2 at number 19. Number 18, I have... I don't know if this will piss anybody off, but it's The Incredible Hulk at number 18. This is another 2.5 for me. I think my 2.5 out of 5 score, I think most people would agree with that. It isn't a shitty movie. It just feels out of place in the MCU. Like, if you can go into it and just pretend like it has nothing to do with the MCU, even though the MCU is in the movie, then it ain't as bad. But I hate recasting, first off. It bugs me. When they did the MCU, they should have either kept Edward Norton or casted Mark Ruffalo right from the get-go. But they didn't, so this movie just feels out of place. But with that said, it's a decent Hulk movie. Like, I've always thought that the Incredible Hulk is kind of a hard character to portray. And it shows, because every movie that they've ever made where it's just 100% Hulk, and he's not just a side character, they're not the greatest. It's just hard to do, because it's just a CGI fest, so you're just watching an animated movie for most of it, and if the CG doesn't hold up, it's not perfect, it can fall flat. But there's some good stuff here. Liv Tyler's decent. William Hurt's good. I like him. Edward Norton's decent. Like, everything's good about the movie. It's just a mediocre MCU movie to me. So yeah, number 18, we got The Incredible Hulk. Number 17, I have a rom-com, and that's Couples Retreat. This was another one that dropped for me. I gave this a 2.5 as well. I used to like it more. This used to be more like a 3.5 for me. But on this watch, I think I just noticed the flaws more than I did when I was younger when I watched it. Because it felt like I love Vince Vaughn in practically everything he's in. But in some of the love scenes where he's talking to his wife, played by Malin Ackerman, who I also love, it feels very scripted. Like, it just feels like there's no chemistry whatsoever, and they're just, someone's holding a script up behind each other's heads, and they're just reading directly off it. So as a quality movie, it lacks. Big time. But it's still good for some just fun laughs and funny concept, and a little bit of heartwarming moments in it, because they're all couples that go to an island to try to fix the relationships. Well, one of them is trying to fix the relationship, but they all realize that they have problems while they're there. And it's just like a heartwarming movie. Nothing serious happens. It's just pretty straightforward with some good comedy and lots of good actors and actresses. Number 17. If you haven't seen Couples Retreat, it's definitely worth a watch. And then at number 16, I have Better Watch Out. This is like Christmas horror, sort of. And it's, I don't even know the name of these actors and actresses. I don't even think I've seen them in anything else. Levi Miller. But it's kind of like feels like a home invasion kind of movie. Like, there's this teenage boy, and he basically kidnaps and ties up his babysitter, and he thinks he's a smart kid, and he's got this whole plan to kill people and pin it all on somebody else. There's a little bit of twists, and there's some decent comedy. I gave this a 3, and I don't know if a ton of people have seen it, but like the first time I watched this, I was just flipping through Tubi, and I seen it, and I was like, yeah, I'll give this a watch. I haven't seen it before, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, that was actually pretty solid. So I ordered it, obviously, to add to my collection, and upon this rewatch, it was still a solid movie, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was the first time I watched it. It was just a little bit weaker. But cool, good acting. Like, I like the acting. I like the little plot twists going on and the way they deliver it. And I enjoy the ending. I think the ending's good too. So yeah, better watch out at number 16. At number 15, we have a Nicolas Cage movie. One of my favorite actors of all time. Maybe my favorite. And that's Sympathy for the Devil. This is like a 2023 movie. It's not very old. Now, I gave this a 3.5. I really like this movie, but I can totally understand if people don't. It's like, I was reading other people's reviews, and some of them said that it was so predictable and it's just a waste of time. See, I agree with that, but Nicolas Cage, this is just him stealing the damn show with his acting chops again. And if you don't like Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, then you probably won't like this movie. But I do. Like, I absolutely love it. When I see it, I just got a smile on my face, and I can't help myself but enjoy it and take it in, basically. So, this isn't for everyone. It's Nicolas Cage plays the bad guy. If you've seen it, it's hard to explain because I don't want to ruin anything here. There's some twists, and basically it's just Joel Kinnaman here, and Nicolas Cage jumps in his vehicle at the beginning when he's going to the hospital because his wife's having a baby. Joel Kinnaman is. And then as he's pulling in, Nicolas Cage jumps in his vehicle and takes him for a joyride. And some plot twists start happening, and you don't really know what's going on. It's like a thriller. And they stop at a restaurant at one point, and Nicolas Cage is really fucking awesome in this restaurant. Like, his acting, and he's badass in it. I like the whole section there. So a 3.5 from me at number 15. So solid movie. Stiff competition here, or it would have been higher. But I said I'd keep it short and run through the gauntlet here. At number 14, I put Black Widow at 14. Nice 4K here. Looks solid, which you can't always trust from Disney, because I've bought in 4Ks from them and they look exact same as the Blu-ray. This might, actually I haven't watched it on Blu-ray, so maybe it does, but whatever. It is what it is on that. But I didn't mind this. This is another 3.5 for me. Of all the MCU movies that have come out after Endgame, I do think this is an upper tier one. It's the most adult feeling movie of all the MCU. Like, this one feels like it's made more for adults. It's just spy espionage stuff with some more serious, like, more dramatic moments. It's not just flashy like kabooms and action sequences. It does have those. Don't get me wrong, but it also has the spy elements, kind of like Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's more like attention driven than just look at the pretty colors that you usually get from these kind of movies. But I think it's definitely worthy of a watch. Like, I think, what's his name from Stranger Things? Hopper. The fuck is his name? I always blank on his name for some reason. It just drives me nuts. And Disney really likes to, like, not put cast members on the back of their discs for some reason as well. David Harbour. I think he does a good job. Florence Pugh does a good job. Scarlett Johansson, obviously, is solid. I think it's a cool sort of an origin story. You get to know Black Widow more, and she becomes more legitimate feeling. But it is also pointless because it came out after Endgame, so it's kind of silly. But they needed to introduce more characters, so that's one downfall about it. But yeah, a 3.5, number 14, Black Widow. And then at number 13, and this might be blasphemy for some people because this is a widely hated movie, and it's Dracula Untold. This was Universal trying to reboot their Universal Monsters back in like 2014, I think, when this came out. Something like that. I can't remember. Somewhere around that time. And it didn't work. It failed. And they just kind of canned it. And it's kind of a shame to me. I think this movie's really underappreciated. Obviously, you have to like the medieval goth fantasy setting. But I just like the action sequences. Like some of the stuff with the bats where he's in the middle of like battling a big battle and he just like turns into bats and fucking annihilates people and shit. Like, it's a different Dracula. It's something new, and it didn't work for most people actually, but it worked for me. I enjoyed it. This is another 3.5 for me. I wish I could have seen what else they were gonna plan to do with this. Enjoyable. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Beautiful looking 4K as well. Can't go wrong. Lots of solid acting. It's kind of like, well, it's Dracula Untold. Explains itself in the title there. At number 13. And then at number 12, I have a James Wan directed movie. This is Dead Silence. This one is another 3.5 from me. This is the Scream Factory 4K. I think it comes with the Blu-ray as well. Yes, it does. This is another movie that I've noticed isn't very liked. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think it's a really, like, it's different. It's a puppet movie. And it has some twists. Like, it has some cool lore and creature building. Not great acting, but not terrible. Ryan Quanten from True Blood is the lead. But I enjoy some of the scares. Like, I find it somewhat creepy. I enjoy the mystery unfolding and the investigation. I think it's another underrated movie. Looks awesome on 4K too, obviously. Scream Factory, I've noticed they've been doing a good job on most of the 4K transfers that I have in my collection. They look pretty damn good. But yeah, Dead Silence. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's my number 12. Getting eliminated next, we have... this might piss somebody off. The original X-Men. Back when this came out in like 2000, I think it's 2000, the year 2000, maybe 2001, 2000. I didn't really care much about the X-Men back then. So when it came out, like, I don't even think I went to the theater to see it. It wasn't a big deal to me. I had never read X-Men comics when I was young. It was just ones I didn't read, so I just didn't have any, like, build up for the movie being released. So when it came out, I was just like, oh, cool, X-Men. And although I love the characters here, like a lot of them, like I think Ian McKellen is an awesome Magneto. Patrick Stewart obviously is. Professor X is really good, legendary, and then Hugh Jackman, you can't fuck with that. Like, super legendary. And I do enjoy the setting and the building of this. Like, this is another 3.5 from me out of 5. It's hard watching it today after we've seen Infinity War and Endgame and how the MCU kind of took superhero movies to an extraordinary level. So these early releases, to me, struggle to hold up to some of those. And they just feel a little dated. But it's still solid shit here. Like, we'll probably never get better X-Men movies in my lifetime than what we have out of this series. So it is what it is. Directed by Bryan Singer. Stacked cast as well, obviously. If you haven't seen X-Men, check it out. I know I say that every time. You've probably seen X-Men. Let's be honest. And then my top 10 here. Now this was a very hard top 10 for me. A lot of these movies, my number 10 is a 4. So we're going from 4 to 5 out of these. Now this hurt to put this at 10th place, but I have to, and it's They Live. Beautiful 4K steelbook here. Like, this is nice shit going on here. I believe these steelbooks only come with the 4K, right? Oh no, they got the Blu-ray in there too. Nice. So awesome edition. Obviously I had that edition. This is a 4 out of 5 for me. I've talked about this movie on one of my earliest episodes that I did on YouTube here. And so I won't go on and on about it because this movie has a lot I can talk about. I enjoy it a lot. I think Rowdy Roddy Piper is awesome. Like, phenomenal in this role. His best role of his career, but he didn't have much of an acting career, but this is easily his best. Fuck, man. David Keith. Is it David Keith or Keith David? I always fuck their names up. Damn it. Awesome as well. And the story it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with twists. Amazing one-liners. Don't even need to go through those. Everyone knows them. One of the fucking best fight sequences in, like, movie history between Keith David and Piper. They just get in a fist fight, and it's pretty fucking epic. Just goes on and on and on and just drags. I love it. This was a hard one to put at 10. I had to really think about this. Like, I struggled. This is of all my matches, my battle royales so far. I'll start pronouncing it Royale because that's how I spell it in my thing. But I say both, battle royale. Out of all of them so far, this is the hardest one I've done. It's just so, these top 10 are stacked. But I stuck They Live at 10. Apologize. At number 9, I have Michael J. Fox and The Frighteners. Never watched this when it came out. I watched this for the first time like a few years ago, and then I watched it again, and now this was the third watch. And this is directed by Peter Jackson, right? Yeah, Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh. Um, uh, for anybody that doesn't know, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings director. Uh, this one actually kind of shocked me. I love the storyline going on here. Like, it feels very kiddish in the first act. It's just like, it feels like, okay, we got like some Ghostbusters feel here where it's like horror for young people. And then it gets kind of dark in the second half. It goes in a direction where it's like, well, it's no longer kind of made for kids anymore. But he's got a bunch of friend ghosts. I'll give you a quick sum up. He's got he is a cheat. He's a scam artist. He sends his friends that are ghosts to people's houses to haunt them, and then he comes in as an expert to remove the ghosts and gets paid money to do it. He's just a hustler, a con man. And then some more serious shit starts to take place, and a couple serial killers end up dying but coming back as ghosts, and it ends up getting very interesting and enjoyable in the second half. So if you throw this on, you haven't seen it, just make sure you see it out and you're not like, oh, this is made for children, and turn it off. Because I promise you, it gets better in the second half. I love the whole movie. This is a 4 out of 5 for me. Next up at number 8, I have a Russell Crowe. This is Unhinged. This came out in 2020. And honestly, kind of blew me away. I was shocked. It's another 4. It's this woman is having a bad day. She's driving her son to school, and she's just having a terrible day. And Russell Crowe is having a much, much, much worse day. He's become a serial killer. Well, not a serial killer. He's lost his mind. Let's just say that. I don't want to give away a lot because I'm pretty sure this one's a little more unseen. But this must be seen. It's so fucking intense. And they're both out driving, and I don't want to give away a lot, but she ends up having an exchange with him from vehicle to vehicle. And because she's having a bad day, the exchange is very unpleasant. And she's kind of a bitch, let's be honest. And he fucking snaps. And he comes after her for the rest of the movie. Car chase type of movie. And he's on a mission to fucking murder. And it's brutal. Like, there's some just intense scenes. Russell Crowe steals the damn show here. Creepy ass dude. This movie. I'm not gonna even say anything else because I think this is a must see. I think it was an excellent movie. Came out of nowhere. And then at number 7, I have from Robert Rodriguez is From Dusk Till Dawn. George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino here, along with tons of other people. Cheech Marin, Salma Hayek's famous sequence in this. But yeah, it's George Clooney and his brother Quentin Tarantino. This is an excellent vampire movie. Must be seen. This is another 4 from me. I might even like border on 4.5. It's solid. And they're just two shitty bank robber type dudes, and George Clooney isn't that shitty, but Quentin Tarantino plays his normal dirtbag that he always plays in movies. Makes me wonder about him a bit. And they end up going into a Mexican bar, and at a certain time at night, that bar becomes a vampire haven. Coven, sorry. No, not a coven. Covens for witches. What do you call the group? Like a nest? Vampire nest? I guess you'd call it. And it's a combination of funny. Tom Savini has an awesome role in this. He's not a vampire, but he has like a gun that's in the shape of dick and balls, and it lifts up in his crotch area. It's just some pretty fucking iconic shit going on here. Harvey Keitel is awesome. So many people. What the name? What's that? Fred Williamson. Fred Williamson, right? Yeah, Fred Williamson. He's awesome. We got Juliette Lewis. Early role here for her. Just stacked. Absolutely love it. If you haven't seen From Dusk Till Dawn, check it out. I think Quentin was like a writer on it, right? Executive producer. Robert Kurtzman was also producer. Doesn't say anything about the writer on here. Okay, yes, the screenplay was written by Quentin Tarantino. So, it's like a Tarantino written vampire movie. It's exactly what it feels like. It's pretty freaking awesome. If you haven't seen From Dusk Till Dawn, put it on your watch list. At number 6, we have one of my childhood favorites, and that is Hook, with the legendary Robin Williams, and you have Julie Roberts, Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, or Tink. Dustin Hoffman plays fucking Hook here, phenomenal shit. Bob Hoskins is Smee. Oh man. Directed by Spielberg as well. Another Spielberg classic. I watched this a few weeks ago, and like for the 10th time probably. I watched it a lot when I was a kid. Not so much in the last 20 years. But I used to watch this like on repeat when I was young. I used to just love the movie. Rufio! There's so many things I love about the movie. Robin Williams is phenomenal in this role as Peter Pan. I just love the build up. It's just a nice family story of Peter Pan and Captain Hook. Solid shit. If you haven't seen it, obviously check it out. And I don't need to describe the plot here. Everyone knows Peter Pan. Great movie. At number 5, we have the newest movie in this one, and that is Heretic. This one shocked me. This is another like 4, maybe even a 4.5, but I'll leave it at a 4. We're about to hit higher than that in a minute here. Kind of shocked me. I really enjoyed the religious element here. I enjoyed the slow pace to it, but not slow pace. Like, I'm sucked in so much with the dialogue from Hugh Grant, who's phenomenal. The lead actresses here, too, are really fucking good. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East. Excellent performances from them. There's this is so new, I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. But you have to check out Heretic. This is one of the best horror movies of last year, of 2024. It's, in my opinion, like it's top 5 of the year. Just great. Hugh Grant is so creepy and uncomfortable. And he feels like just someone that would just lurks behind you feeling all the time. Like, just uncomfortable. And then the storyline's really interesting. Like, you're constantly wondering what's going on. And I enjoyed it. It's a lot of religious dialogue. It's not stabbing religion that much. Like, it is, but it's not like an overload where you feel like they just are on a vendetta mission to take down religion. It's not like that, thank God, because I usually hate those kind of movies. Not that I'm religious, I just hate movies that feel so politically motivated that they're just trying to sway your way of thinking. Those kind of irritate me and rub me the wrong way, even when they're good. So yeah, number 5, I put Heretic. I'm not going to talk much about it because I don't want to ruin anything in that, and it's hard. It's hard because it's a story-based horror movie. So if I start talking about the story too much, it just reveals things that will be better if you see it yourself. At number 4, I have Christine. Fucking phenomenal movie from Carpenter here. Absolutely love this. This was one I watched when I was young as well. I love the acting. I love the car itself. Like, it's the greatest killer car to ever be put in movies, in my opinion. It's freaking awesome. Legendary. And I just love what this movie does. Like, it tells a story outside of just the car, too. It's just like a nerd who gets a little bit of attention, and he gets too big for his own britches and starts acting like a fool, and shit doesn't go well for him. But Christine will always live to see another day. So if you haven't seen Carpenter's Christine, check it out. Obviously there's a 4K of this too, which I haven't upgraded to, but just a really good freaking solid movie. And it's unique in today's world. Like, I haven't seen a killer car movie. Like, what was the last killer car movie I watched? It'd be a while. I can't even think of another one. Like, you have Maximum Overdrive, but that came out around this time. So, like, killer car movies are pretty rare. So, check it out. One of a kind. And then at number 3, I have the movie I named my daughter after. Her name is Samara. I changed a little bit just for demonic purposes. But it's the original American, well, not the original, the Americanized Asian. Holy fuck, I can't even speak tonight. The American version of the Japanese film Ringu. This is The Ring with Naomi Watts. And I love the slow burn mystery here. Now, I know this movie isn't for everyone. It's very slow paced. Not a lot happens. It's not a super scary horror movie. It scared me when I was younger. First time I watched it, I thought that it had a really uncomfortable couple scenes. Nothing insane. It's not like a thrill a minute type of movie. This is a slow paced, storyline heavy movie. It's a mystery. It's like a fucking murder mystery. And I just love the twist. I love what happens in the final act. I think it's freaking excellent filmmaking. I like this better than the Japanese version, which that might piss some people off. Think I'm an idiot, but I find the Japanese version even more slower paced than this one. This one at least hits you with some scary moments throughout, where the Japanese one's really slow paced. But they're both good. But yeah, this is a 4.5 from me. This is worth the purchase of this 4K box set, even though it's expensive. But I will always stand behind the ring because I have Samara living right here in my house, so I can't fuck around. I'm gonna try to stuff that back in the box there. There we go. And then my top 2 of the episode. Anybody that watched my Quentin Tarantino ranking knows that I gave both these movies 5s. Volume 2 is getting eliminated first, even though I think they're both 5s. I love Kill Bill 1 and 2. They were both in my top 5 for Quentin Tarantino's rankings. At number 5 and 4, actually. And these aren't for everybody, obviously. You have to love Chinese history and just the awesomeness of kung fu and martial arts and samurai films. You have to just love, like, Hanzo Hattori, played by the legendary Sonny Chiba, is fucking amazing. Like, just seeing him show up in the movie is part of the thrill, because I've seen a shit ton of Sonny Chiba movies throughout the years, and I like his style of acting. So when he makes an appearance, it's just like, ooh, Sonny Chiba. So you have to have the history of the movies, because that's what Quentin does. He does classic movies, but in modern. He modernizes classics, basically. Mashes them all together. Everything in these movies I've seen in other movies, right from the sounds, the score, the actual scenes are straight from other movies, but I still think these are fucking masterpieces. Volume 2 here is a little bit slower for me, but I enjoy the slow pace. It gets some more character building. I love David Carradine at the end, where you finally get to get him talking, because I think the guy's great at just speaking in general. You also have an appearance from one of my other all-time favorite martial artists, Gordon Liu, from the 36 Chamber of Shaolin films, amongst dozens of other Shaw Brothers movies. He comes in as a kung fu master, and he's the classic kung fu master with the huge white beard and mustache, and he's fucking awesome. He's a legend. If you haven't seen classic Gordon Liu kung fu movies, martial arts movies, go check some of those out, man. He's so good. And then my winner for this episode is Kill Bill Volume 1. I love the fucking end battle scene with the Crazy 88. Here's one quick thing I'll say. These 4Ks, they're not the greatest looking transfers of all time. They're still phenomenal, and I loved it, and I enjoyed. They're not broken or anything. They look like average 4K transfers. But these movies don't, they're so gorgeous to look at in any film style. That's one thing about Quentin, why I love him so much as a director, is it doesn't really matter what format his movies are in, because it's all about dialogue and storytelling and filming styles and lenses on the camera and sounds and score and everything he's doing in the movie. Or getting done, sorry, not him, he's doing, but getting done. So these are they're 2 of my favorite samurai martial arts movies of all time. It's hard. This is a tough battle. There was a lot of great ones here. But Kill Bill Volume 2 at number 2, and Kill Bill Volume 1 at number 1. So my 4th champion is Kill Bill Volume 1. And I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for joining me for this Battle Royale. I will just continue bringing these. I am having so much fun watching movies and ranking them against each other. It's so fun to just be like, walk over to your collection and be like, yeah, I feel like watching that. And like before I felt like I had to watch things. Like I would be like, okay, I'm going to rank this one thing, and now I have to watch like 10 movies of that one thing, and can't get out of it. Where this, I can just watch any 20 movies I want from my entire collection and just rank them against each other. So I can just keep fucking going and knocking off everything. So it's awesome. I'm enjoying this a lot, so I'm going to be continuing this for probably all year, I would assume. I want to get, like, this puts me up to 80 now. 80 movies watched and ranked just this year alone. We're only into February. That doesn't include anything I've watched that I don't have in these rankings yet. But I already have, like, my next 2 finished and ready to go, so they're going to be up pretty damn soon. But thank you so much for giving me the time out of your day and having some fun with me. If you haven't, like I said in previous episodes, if anybody that watches wants me to watch and rank some, put it into one of my battle royals, just let me know, and if I have it, it'll be in a coming up battle royal. You can see what I think about it and where I think it lies. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.